It's all systems go in the workshop as we do the lead up to the Banger World Series round number 1 at Aldershot. We've got to get the car painted, we've got to get the last few bits done on it, we've got to sort spares, we've got to sort wheels and tyres, we've still got bits and bobs to sort on the lorry. We need to have a tidy up to fit some cars in to get siren written. As normal, we've got to squeeze like 500 hours into a week, so nothing changes. Welcome to another episode of Allstar Garage. Okay, it is now early afternoon on Tuesday. Last night I did do a thing and I stayed here quite late. We had a massive tidy up, me and Squirrel was here last night as well, to make some space on the floor. That is a Junior micro stock, and over there underneath the sheet is a Ninja cart. Obviously everyone from racing will know what they are already, but I will go into more detail in a little bit about what they are, because it suddenly dawned on me we've got 3 different age ranges of car here. That's for little tiny bambino kids. That's for coming of age teenage kids, and that's for old men, it seems, and dead people by all accounts. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but this is now painted and done and looks 10 to 15 times better than what it did before it was painted, although it's still rusty and not very nice. That's ready for Dan Klyn. Over here is George's micro, which is Squirrel's lad. He is also racing his micro stock car at the same meeting as this. So on Sunday, obviously by the time you watch this it's already happened, but on Sunday George is out in his new redone stock car that Squirrel's been working on through the winter, re-ironing and doing bits and bobs to tidy that up, and obviously I'll be in the hearse. Wayne's currently eating a late lunch. Hello Wayne.
Hello people.
Whilst we wait for Dan, and Dan's here for the rest of today and tomorrow, I think the rest of the day he's doing that and the Ninja cart, tomorrow he's doing that, my plan of attack is to get this last week mentioned electrical device into the spares box. So I'm going to just put it here for a minute so that while he's siren I can't do much else. I'm going to dilly-dally with that. But before I can do that, after the tidy up that I mentioned from last night, I'm going to go and have a bit of a weigh-in. We've obviously got the old ramp from last week that you saw us taking out. We've got some different metally materials there. The scrap bin that's been in the back shop of the workshop for ages is full, that can go. Loads of Jag engines and bits and bobs that are going to get run in the scrap. Old toolbox that doesn't work anymore is in there as well. And just some crap that is in the way that we keep falling over. So I'm going to go and get rid of this, and then we'll come back and carry on. Okay, right, it's now Wednesday night, 8:15-ish, a little bit late getting to the yard, but we're here, back for more. Dan has siren written this big plastic pig today. Didn't get much time to film him, I've just shown you some bits, but we've been having dilemmas with the lorry at the same time, to the point with last few times I've driven it, it's like you put your foot on the throttle and it's a bit put your foot on the clutch, you rev it to the moon and back, you come back off the clutch and then it's a little bit like that. I'm not going to do it again, so you can rewind that and watch it back a few times if you need to, but that's where we're at with that. So I was too busy sorting that out. We had a bloke come down, Ben Pemble from BP Truck Support, who spent some time there in the lorry doing stuff, and we've managed to fix it. So it turns out it had an aftermarket one-way valve fitted to the feed on the diesel pipe. Cousin? Can you ring the gate? Yes, boy, of course can. Now, it was pretty obvious that it was a fuel starvation issue. We had no warning lights come up. Checked intercooler pipes, boost was good. When you were revving it, the boost was fine. There was no extra noises to indicate a split boost pipe or anything like that. Took the fuel lines off, blew them through, took the fuel sender out, checked the gauze on the bottom of that, took the fuel filters out after we changed them 2 weeks ago, which made no difference. Went through all that again. Turns out it was a one-way valve, like what would be in the return on a banger, that someone had put in a previous life in the feed to the fuel filters from the tank that had blocked up and wasn't working correctly. Changed that, and then we also found further down the line someone had also fitted an aftermarket fuel filter inside the chassis 3.5 miles further away from the engine. So we changed that as well. Jumped in it, shot up the road, best it's ever been. But the long and short of that is that swallowed like time over the last couple of weeks that we've been investigating that and changing bits. And it's done now, just in time, because we're racing in like 4 or 5 days. We kind of need the lorry. But anyway, Dan has Simon and George's car. He did that yesterday. He's done that today, and he did a Ninja car yesterday as well. I'll quickly touch base on what that means here with the 3 different age ranges of motor racing vehicle for the UK ovals. Okay, right, this here thing, this is what's called a Ninja kart. Ninja kart is very go-kart based. I don't really know anything about them, so I'm not going to stand here and sound like I do. But it's a bit like a go-kart that's been made to look like a sprint car, like a Ninja sprinty thing. Kids race these, and when I say kids, I mean kids. I think they start at 6. I think they can actually practice in them from 5, and then they can actually start racing in them competitively from 6, and they can race all the way up to 10, 11-ish, something like that. It's either 10 or 11, not really sure. Someone will correct me down below in the comments. And this here, they get really competitive. They race them in Scotland and the West Country and Ireland and all over the place, and some people do all the miles and travel and do it all. Some people do a little bit less, but it's perfect for the young kids that are mad into racing and want to start. Personally, I couldn't bring myself to put a child in one of those and let them loose around Ipswich or Hensford or wherever the big tracks that they race on, and they crash and roll over, but the kids love it. But that's petrifying to think about. But that's where they can start, and that is a Ninja kart that I don't know much about. Now, when you grow old enough that you've come out of the Ninja kart, you can then do something like this. This isn't the only formula that you can do. I think this is 11 to 16, or when you turn on your 16th birthday, then you become adult class motor racing. So I think you start these at 11, you then race up until the last day of your 15th being 15-ness, and then you have to come out of these. This one here is George's. George is Squirrel's lad. You've probably seen him on the videos if you're George's friend, and you can say, my mate George was on Allstar Garage. He is, because that's him, and this is his car. But he races this as a child, and that's perfectly fine. They're a 1 litre micro. Used to be mini stocks back in the day. When I was younger and I started racing at 12, 13, I had a mini stock, which was exactly the same concept, but it was Austin Minis back then. You can't get them anymore. So now they're micros. As well as the micro stocks, they also have, I believe, junior rods, which is the rod version of this where they don't crash into each other. Micros and stuff like that again, 1 litre, and they're racing around, and it's the level up from Ninja karts. And then obviously for the teenage kids and stuff, they can beat 7 bells of shit out of each other in one of these. And then by the time they come out of these and they're 16, they've had years of racing experience already. So that's why you see a lot of the young lads starting in the adult formulas in bangers or stock cars or super stocks or briskers or anything like that, and they're mustard because they've had all these years of experience already. So after you've done the Ninja Kart, this is then level 2 for your racing, from 11 to just before you turn 16. And then when you become an adult, technically at 16, you can race the big stuff like we all do. I have done that since I was 16 now. Like I said, I started racing at 12. I'm now 37. So I've been racing for 26 years, 25, 26 years, something like that. No, I don't look it, but that's a true story. So yeah, so that is it, level 3 of the age process. Small kiddie winkles, kids, and then adult formulas. That's bangers, super stocks, hot rods, stock rods, brisker, F1s, F2s, national saloons, anything like that you can all do from 16 years old. There you have it. That is my guide to the tiers of ages of racing on short ovals in the UK. We'll carry on with normal stuff now.
I don't think you need any petrol, Pete. This tank will do you, the amount of laps you're going to do.
Why are you being like that?
Go on and pull your hose out.
It's a bit like you actually, it's got a slow flow.
Yeah. Not much meaning.
You can't hear a word you're saying, Squirrel.
Yeah. Not they want to listen to you anyway.
Let's use that one, just fill it up.
Who'd want to listen to a rat boy?
We should have rat chat.
Yeah. Let's have a bit of rat chat.
That's because you've got a beard.
It's cool, isn't it? I'll go on a mullet, innit?
Why did you give me the thing while I'm tying this on?
You've got to talk it out. Because I'm growing a mullet next.
A mullet?
Yeah.
He's having a midlife crisis, isn't
I
he?
am. I'm going to have a mullet with a beard. I'm going for the full Aussie look.
Aussie? Or Louisiana specialist?
Yeah, about
Ugh. Anyways.
What?
Dunno. Okay, right, it's now Friday afternoon. I've got to leave shortly-ish to go and do school run bits and bobs. I do apologise that we haven't actually filmed much this week. I was toying with the idea of not even putting a video out at all because I started editing bits last night and there's not much already and we haven't got much to film. It's just been one of them weeks. I know I said last week that sort of everything was going wrong, but it's just gone wrong more. Dan was here, so I'm writing a couple of cars, so that sort of slowed down banger building, shall we call it, and doing other bits. Then we had the issues with the lorry, and I'm not putting the camera on to film that when we're having massive dramas, and I'm stress heading because I'm worrying about not being able to go racing at the weekend and stuff. So there's just been lots going on that's not really filmable, and it's took priority over putting the camera on and setting it up and getting going. What we have done, and what we'll talk about, obviously this is now done. The harness is in, the last few bits are done. We've just filled up with petrol. That's literally ready to put on the lorry. George's car is done. Squirrel's taking it home tonight, I think, and that's obviously going to be racing at the same meeting. The spares box was the main thing that I did the other night. Jamie McGangus came down and we played about with that, worked out how everything was going to be, how we'd want it. It's quite tight with the generator and toolbox, so we've worked out a way of take the drawers out to fill it up. It's quite clever actually, so that it didn't have to just jiggling all about, so it all fits in there. Welders in there, gas bottles in there, generators in there, all the tools are in there, nuts, bolts, socket sets, everything else. The idea is that we don't have to keep putting stuff in the car, the idea of the spares box, and I can unload that in front of the car, and as you can see, everything's there. Everything's like as we want it. If we need something, we know where to go to get it. You're not looking through wet buckets of nuts and bolts and tools that have been sat on the back of a lorry for 3 months and the spanners are all rusty. No, it's just easy, is the plan. I did get, between a mixture of Scrapco Metal Recycling and JR Car Spares, 3 complete Mark II focus front ends, including the focus front end that I think we got from JL's in the first place, that's in the Hearse. And the logic of that, if you watch the videos back from before, is that we're trying to make it so it's easily repairable bits. If I get sailed in the fence and rip a front corner off, I've got all the bits broken down in a different box on the lorry where I can go, right, I need a leg, I need a hub, I need a wishbone. Everything's there, all the bolts are freed up, everything's smooth sailing on the car. So it should just be a case of taking something off and putting it back on again. But that's where we're at. We're literally at a stage now of we're trying to wait for the rain to stop raining and get this out, get that out. I've got a jag limo outside I've got to put in, that can go on the lorry, and then that's ready to screw to pick up. It's just, as you can tell, it's just been a bit flat out. And now we're eating lunch, so we'll have a sandwich first, and then we'll get loaded up.
I don't like the way that Skrill keeps talking to me, Pete. Yesterday, he just went into my lunchbox, helped himself to a tomato, and...
You ate my Twix.
Yeah, well, that's because he ate my tomato. Blame him, not me.
And then you had your lunch. I was busy, left my lunchbox open. I went and done something, come back and you'd eaten all your food and left your rubbish in my lunchbox.
Yes, but I had a dream last night.
Who are you, Martin Luther King?
You know yesterday when you said to me how nice them little pies were you was eating, them caramel things.
Bugvitti's caramel tart.
They're lovely.
That is top tier. Yeah.
I had a dream last night. We was in the workshop and I went off to do something. I come back for my cup of tea and you'd left me cup of tea there with a box of these little tarts.
I wouldn't.
Well, that's when I realised it was a dream, because I knew you wouldn't.
You would scoff a lot anyway.
You wouldn't give someone the scrapings of your arsehole, would you? But...
That's not true.
No, you wouldn't. But you wouldn't leave a pack of pies there for us, would you?
More worried that you want to scrape my arsehole.
I don't want to scrape. Don't get me all tied up with what I said. I said you wouldn't give anyone the scrapings of your arsehole. Nothing to do with mine. Yours.
I wouldn't want to go near yours.
Why don't you let me try that tart there then? He ain't gonna do it.
No, yeah.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't do it. No, he couldn't possibly do it. Everything I do for him, he can. And he's done it in one.
Where's your cheese lids?
Pig of a man, you are.
Why?
Yeah, I hope you choke on it. Pig of a man.
One of yours.
Have you spoke to Tina this week?
Yeah.
So it's not all done then, is it?
No, it's because she's having a dog or something.
Last week, that was it was done. Did you watch the video from last week? It was finished, mate. It was done, signed, sealed, delivered.
She's pushing her luck, I'm telling you.
Is she having a dog on Sunday when you go racing?
Yeah.
Convenient. No. Right, that is it for this week's episode, I'm afraid. Very short and sweet, and I don't know how long it is, but it's not long enough really. But as I've already said, there's just been stuff going on. We've just loaded up then, and I forgot to put the camera on whilst we were loading up. And then whilst we were loading up, one of the rams on the crane's just let it go now, and it's excreting oil everywhere, and that's a problem for next week. It lifts, it's kind of got the car on there, it's good enough. We'll worry about it next week. Thanks for watching. As normal, please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. The link to that is on the main page. Just press the subscribe button and it literally costs you nothing, but it helps us massively in the direction of where we're going with the channel. We have just gone past 50,000 subscribers as well, which is massive. Wayne's behind the camera doing funny faces at me, which is amazing, and doing rude swear words. And there's something that looks like he's making a milkshake. He seems to be pointing to the lights with his middle finger, whatever that means. Anyway, thank you again for watching. We will catch you next week.